So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all how to make this blueberry cobbler. And what I did is I found an old recipe out of a very old cookbook called Creeping Crust Cobbler. And what I'm going to use in this is in a previous video, and I will link it below. I took blueberries and I canned them to keep them safe, and they're in just a sugar syrup, so I will link that below. And then all I'm gonna do is quickly make this up, and it doesn't take 30 minutes putting it together, maybe 3 minutes, and in 30 minutes you have your cobbler. And this is such a good crust. It's just delicious. So winter came and we have snow on the ground. Very little activity from the animals, but when you do find the chickens, they're going to be hanging out on the deck trying to stay out of the snow. This is such a quick and easy dump in and then throw it in the oven type dessert. All you're going to need is 1 cup of margarine or 1 stick of butter, which I'm going to use 1 stick of butter. You need a cup of flour, a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking soda powder, a half a cup of milk, and then you're going to need some kind of fruit. So 2 cups of fruit, and then if you haven't already jarred it up and canned it, you're going to need to have some sugar. So you will need to boil the fruit if it's fresh, and then add your cup of sugar in there and make a syrup out of this. As I said, this is quick and easy. Take that stick of butter, put it in your oven as it's preheating at 350 degrees. Now I went to the pantry and I pulled out my blueberry filling that I made a video on. So we're just going to pop the top, put it in a saucepan and heat it up. If you don't have this, remember, just boil it and then add a cup of sugar. In the crust, you want 1 cup of sugar, and then a cup of flour, then you want to do 1 tablespoon of baking soda, baking powder. Combine it, mix it up together, make sure it's thoroughly mixed. Once you get the milk in here, just kind of mix it together. This will not be a wet crust. It's actually a very dry crust, and it's kind of crumbly. So just kind of press the dry into the wet, and then see how crumbly this is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of pat it out and make little flat crust areas, and then you set it right into the melted butter. Just like that. And then I'm just going to do that all the way across to make a bottom crust. And what's going to happen is, as this is cooking, the crust is going to float up, and then it'll brown as you do this. Now this is not a beautiful crust. It will not look beautiful by any means, but it is a wonderful tasting crust and cobbler. So just press them all out, put them in there. You can just throw it and dump it if you wanted to. I wanted mine to have more of a rounded crust, especially around the corners. So however you want to do it. And as you'll see at the end of this, whatever's left after I finish layering this, I'm just going to dump it in there and it rises to the top. So once you've got everything put together, just stick it in your oven, 350 degrees, and let it cook. It's going to take about 30 minutes or until that crust is good and brown. So 350, and then wait for it to brown. This is almost like a gooey crust. It's very sticky, and it is so delicious. It's not like a traditional cobbler. This one's totally different. So I would definitely suggest to you guys to try it because it is absolutely delicious. So we're going to take a scoop of it out. I do not have any vanilla ice cream, but we will be headed out to get some more, and want to give it to Richard and see what he thinks about it.
I like that crust. I like it better than pie crust. That's delicious.
Okay.
Okay. What are you doing?
I look at it's kind of sticky, isn't it?
Yeah. Where'd you get that? The recipe for the crust?
I have an old cookbook.
That's the kind I like.
Good.
My mom used to make that.
Good.
Well, these last few days have been kind of crazy. We lost internet for a couple of days, but thank God we didn't lose electricity like we did last year. But these times like this kind of get us ready for just in case the stuff hits the fan. And been stuck here. And it's been fine, been good. And then Missy decided today to make a cobbler, and it was fantastic. And it still is because there's some in there. Jake's gonna bring home some homemade vanilla bluebell, so that'll make it even better. But anyway, just getting out there, busting up ice to keep the pigs and chickens and all the animals happy, so they have water, and keeping the faucets dripping, keeping the fire going, getting up in the morning, starting the fire, and um, it's been, go back to work tomorrow. And anyway, so thank y'all for watching, and Missy makes some good recipes, so y'all follow and like what she does, and catch y'all next time.
Bye, guys.